Chinese mind, body, spirit exercise um, philosophy, I guess. And things have come out of it. I mean, it's been around for 2,000 years, and there's hundreds of different versions of it. And so, in my mind, there's no right, there's no wrong. You just kind of you get out of it what you bring to it. But it really emphasizes uh, the connectedness of our mind and our physical body, and also tries to incorporate um, the spirit, kind of an understanding and appreciation of the earth, the greater earth, the earth below us, the earth and nature all around us, the sky above us, and the universe around us. And what we'll do is start out with kind of a warm up. Oh, truth in advertising here. I'm not a trained Qigong instructor. I'm kind of one of the group, and I've been studying Qigong on my own for the past 4 or 5 years. And the fellow was a local fellow. Right now, he's working in New York City, helping build stage things for Broadway and productions there. And so he's not able to leave. Got a full-time job. Thankfully, somebody's working to help this colony move forward. And I studied under Tim, and I've been with a few other Qigong instructors in various aspects. And I read a lot, and you can find a lot on YouTube. And so I've just been tagging along, and when Tim got busy, I stepped forward and said, all of these exercises, movements that we're going to go, all of them be accommodated any which way you want. If you've got shoulder issues, don't participate in these movements and exercises to the extent that feels good. You don't want to hurt. Okay, you don't want to. So this is I don't have a good. I'm not leading the team and trying to form you into something, a preconceived something. So move along as you see fit. If you need to hold on to something or sit down, people can do this sit down. There's make any accommodation that's needed. So fair enough. Okay.
And two things. One is he's fantastic. The other is that used to, right.
Yes.
The other thing is we used to be able to do this in a circle. They had caused us to feel like we had this, but feel free if you want to spread around it. So we're not all underneath this, and since the sun isn't too bright, we can. When you create this, well, I don't know what the circle has to do with Qigong, but it has to do with community.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so we'll begin with just a real quick warm up, and this is something I mimic from a Qigong instructor, Jeff Chand, who's I think based out of Vancouver, British Columbia. But we're just going to begin with a little warm up here. We're just going to warm up our shoulders a little bit, just swing backwards the other way. Just loosening up shoulders. Then we can swing our arms side to side, kind of like an elephant's trunk. Get little different stretches in the arms and the shoulders and the elbows. And we can warm up our neck and head, look side to side, get a little stretch in there. Start to loosen up the neck. And we can look up and down a couple times. And then we can tilt side to side, kind of ear to shoulder. We'll stretch that way. A little different stretch in the neck. And we can twist our body side to side, kind of get a little stretch in our side. Yeah, put our hands on our hips, do a little hip circle, kind of loosen up the hips, the other direction. Back and bend over, leading with our chin. Allow the head to just drop, get a little stretch in the lower back, and slowly fold back up. Kind of, you can imagine stacking the vertebrae up one at a time, and over, hang for a little bit, get a little stretch, and then get a little slow stacking of the vertebrae to loosen up the spine. A lot of energy and blood, flows up and down our spine. We can do a little one that works on our balance, kind of step a foot, rotate the ankle, and rotate the wrists at the same time, and switch feet, rotate the wrists in the other direction. In Qigong, we often revert back to what we call the stance. Stance, also called the Wuji posture. And that's we place our feet, hip width apart, shoulder width, hip width apart, slight bend in the knees. Or keep our back straight. So it helps to kind of pivot, bust it out like that, but just open the shoulders a little bit, have some space under your arms, so flat against your side, but just a little space there. And you can imagine you have your head erect, very erect posture, and you can imagine your head is suspended from the top of the head by a little string reaching up to the sky. And we can just pause here for a moment, take some deep breaths, try to breathe, imagine breathing down into your abdomen. Deep breath in and out through the nose. And I try to rest. And here we can imagine breathing in good, positive energy and exhaling any negative energy, any stuck energy, any negative thoughts, anything we no longer need. And really starting to clear our mind. Just clear our mind and come into the present. Imagine your feet are firmly connected to the ground, making a good connection with the earth. And as we go through these movements and exercises, it often helps to strengthen that mind and body connection, and really focus your thinking, your thoughts on particular areas that we might be working on. So if we're working on the hips, think about the hips. If we're working on our stomach, think about our stomach and our internal organs. So try to enhance that mind-body connection. What we're going to do is begin to open up our spine. We're going to raise our hands up, kind of hands pointed to the sky. Just make a gentle rotation off to one side and off to the other. And gradually breathe deeply. You might find with each turn, pivot, you can rotate a little bit further. Don't want to rotate to the point of pain or anything. Just want to go nice and easy. Imagine your gaining some space in your vertebrae, giving those discs a little bit of space in there, freeing up, allowing that energy and blood to be able to flow better up and down the spinal column. And we can, if your balance allows you to, you can lift the heel of your trailing foot, get a little bit more of a rotation. Remembering to breathe deeply, envisioning your spine opening up. If you want to get a little bit more stretch, you can look over your leading shoulder, your hand, help kind of glance over that shoulder, maybe get a little more stretch in your neck. We can bring our hands down to hip level. And just drag our fingertips. You can imagine standing in a lake or a pond, waist deep in water. Dragging your fingertips across the surface of the warm water. Making little ripples emanate from where you're standing. You can imagine this motion kind of begins at your lower abdomen, and that brings the rest of your torso along and your hips, and followed by your shoulders and arms and hands and fingertips last. You can imagine leading with your midsection. Then we can anchor our feet, just kind of have a little more vigorous motion emanating from the hips, and allow your arms and hands just to swing like pendulums and stimulate your lower abdomen and your lower back, and just allow those hands to snap there, generating this motion with your hip and leg muscles. Just allowing your arms to relax, shoulders to relax. And you can use your mind to send energy and begin to wake up your lower back and your lower abdomen and stimulate those internal organs. Breathing in good energy to those areas. Exhaling any negative energy. We can bring our leading hand kind of up and start to stimulate the chest area. Breathing good energy, what we call qi, qi. Qi is the Chinese term for energy. Breathing that into our lungs, heart center. And you can bring that hand up a little higher, up to the neck and shoulder, if you can reach there, and stimulate the neck and shoulder areas. Bringing good energy there. And gradually gradually come back down to the chest area. And back down to the lower abdomen. And then unwind. And come back to center, back to our Wuji posture, and just pause and notice. Notice how your body feels. Notice any areas that are tingling with energy. That's your chi. It's your internal energy. Any areas that are warm, tingling. And also any areas that feel stiff. Just notice them. Talking about qi for a minute. In traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, this qi is this energy, and there's different levels of it and fields of it. But basically, but one of the things they teach is that or believe is that our qi, we have an area a couple inches below our navel, a couple inches internal to our body, that's known as the dantian, or the lower heaven. And they believe that this is an area of our body where we gather chi from our efforts and from the earth and the universe around us, and it's stored there and cultivated there, and then it's allowed to move from there to wherever it's needed in the body. So we refer to this kind of lower abdomen area known as the dantian. You'll hear me use that term from time to time. So let's go ahead and stimulate the dantian with our hands. Just do some patting. And it helps to visualize energy in these areas, sending good energy to our internal organs, our intestines, stomach, liver, kidneys. Gallbladder, if you have one. You can go back and stimulate our back, our lower back. You can use fists, or you can slap, and you can move up and down, just bringing good energy, helping loosen those muscles, our lower back. Stimulate those areas. Breathing. Come around and stimulate the hips. Tap on the hips. Again, this is another area you can use your fists if you want. Big muscles here. Come around, slap behind our legs, behind our knees. Come around in front of the knees, below the knees. It's called a 3-mile point. Meridian. Stimulation. We're going to start tapping down the insides of our legs, all the way down to our feet, around the feet, and up the outside. We'll do that circuit 3 times. Down the inside, down the feet, up the outside. All of our legs. Come up and work on some joints. We work on our elbow. Stimulate the inside of the elbow. And as you're doing this, you might notice areas of stiffness or areas of pain or areas that might need more work, and feel free to spend more time where it's needed. Okay? So inside of the elbow, outside of the elbow. Thanking our elbows for all they do. You can move up and work on that shoulder, kind of stimulate the front of the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, whatever you can reach, wherever it's needed. Stimulate that. You can walk over and do the other side, do an elbow there, inside of the elbow. You might do this vigorously, or lightly, whatever you feel. The outside of the elbow. Work on that shoulder, on that side. While we're on this side, we're going to pat all the way down this side, go back up. We'll go all the way down the inside of the arm, all the way up the outside of the arm. We'll repeat that circuit 3 times. Down the side, up the side, down the inside of the arm, up the outside of the arm. Remembering to breathe, send energy to each of these areas. And we can walk across and do that same circuit on the other side. Down the side, up the side, on the inside of the arm, up the outside of the arm. Do that 3 times. Stimulating all these areas of the arms and the sides. You can come back and kind of wrap on the chest, the area of the lungs. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And on your next breath intake, hold it at the top. So and tap a little harder and then exhale. We'll shake that out. Come back to center. Next area that we're going to send energy to is our immune system. We're going to work on a point just below our wrist on the inside and on the outside. And we're just going to take those 2 areas, front of one hand, back of one to the front of the other. We're just going to tap. Breathe deeply and envision bringing in good, positive, healthy energy, chi, into our immune systems. And switch sides. Shake that out. Next, we'll move into a sequence of horse stance poses or positions. And this is a very elemental position in Qigong, known as a horse stance. And it involves taking a wider stance with the legs, maybe whatever is comfortable for you, but maybe a couple of shoulder widths apart. What we're going to do is take that stance, and we're going to sink the weight a little bit. We don't want to bend over, but just kind of sink straight down. You're really going to engage, your upper thighs, and do this to the extent that you can. We're going to begin by just swinging our arms up and having our palms face down. Just form a T here. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths here. And if you get tired, if this is really uncomfortable, stand up out of it at any time and come back after you're rested. Calm the mind. Then we're going to put our palms face up. You can really feel the energy in your legs. We're going to put our palms facing out. You can imagine feeling some resistance as if you're pushing apart some curtains or something with some weight to it. Breathing in and out through the nose. And we're going to bring our arms up above our heads and have those palms facing up to the sky. Imagine making a connection between the center of your palms and the universe and sky above us and all that energy that represents. Bringing in good positive energy. Then we're going to rotate those palms down. Because you can envision raining that energy down through the crown of your head, down through your body, just cleansing the body with good positive energy, and then exiting through our legs, through our feet, and into the earth. And we're going to begin to lower the hands and stand up out of this position, and walk the feet back into a more comfortable position. Just bring those palms, our hands down the center line, just smoothing that energy that we've just been working with throughout our body. We'll do one more. We're going to do an inhale. Bring those arms up and around one more time. Inhale. Like exhale, coming down the midline again. Just smoothing that chi, that energy, sending it where it's needed in our bodies. Good. Let's shake that out. All right. Now we're going to do a series of 3 kind of left and right movements here. We're going to begin with the prayer wheel. So what we're going to do is kind of put one foot forward and the other foot maybe at a 45-degree angle. And maybe have our weight more on the back leg. We're going to shift the weight forward, bring our arms forward, kind of flip apart or so. Kind of make a circle here, a prayer wheel. Going down and out, and then up and back toward the chest. Let's see if we can, and we're shifting our weight out as we reach out and back as we bring our hands back. Let's see if you can coordinate your breathing with this motion. And just get into a range of motion that suits you. It can be a small movement, or it can be a larger movement. And try and see if you can coordinate your breathing with the motion. Could be exhaling on the way out and inhaling on the way back in. Do one more motion on this side, one more movement. Then come back to center. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. Out. Go ahead and begin the movement on this side. You might have to adjust your footing to get a stance that feels good. And you might notice it feels different doing it on one side or the other. Just notice that. Just notice. Two more cycles, 2 more movements on this side. And come back to center, so you've completed the movements. We could shake that out. All right. Next movement is called pushing the grass. And these movements are working on balance, and we're working on shoulders and upper body, and a little bit of engagement in the legs as well. So this next one, we're going to start out with that same position, a leg forward, foot about 45 degrees off to one side. And we're going to bring our arms up as we move forward, and then sweep our arms in kind of like a T as we come back. So up, straight forward, and then back as a T. And where I stay in the winter in Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, along the shoreline, we have elephant grass. Grows to 6, 7, 8 feet tall. You can imagine kind of going through some elephant grass here and just parting the grass. It's kind of the vision here. We're getting a good rotation in your shoulders. I've got some stiffness in my shoulders right now, so I'm noticing that. So again, you want to do these movements however it feels good to you. Don't do anything to the point of pain. Do one more movement on this side. Step back to center. And we'll repeat that on the other side. Step forward. Arms forward. Weight forward. Weight back. Arms back. Parting the grass. When you complete the current movement, do one more movement on this side. Step back to center. Shake that out. And this last kind of back and forth movement is great heron spreads its wings. So we're going to, again, same kind of starting position, one leg out, foot 45 degrees. This time we're going to bring our arms up. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Oh, I think we just come up and have our arms spread as we're forward. Okay, great hand spread its wings. And then come back and lower the wings. So we spread our wings up and out, shift the weight back, and the wings come down. Again, see if you can coordinate the motion with breath, remembering to breathe deeply. Coming back from a wedding this weekend, driving through Portland, and there's low tide. I think it's was it Presumpscot River? This is on the north side of Portland. But anyway, in that stretch, I must have seen 20 great blue herons on the board. It was really spectacular. After you complete the movement you're on, do one more movement on this side. Come back to center, and repeat that motion on the other side. Breathing deeply, relaxing the face, smiling. Do one more movement on this side. Shake that out. Okay. Next, we'll move into cross arm flow. This is also a little bit of a left right, but we're just going to keep our feet in shoulder width position. Start with our Uji posture. We're going to sink down, gather up some chi from the earth. Cross our arms, bring them up to the sky, open our hands a foot and a half wide, and just settle them down. We're just going to repeat this motion. Inhaling as we bring the chi up and exhaling as we come back down. Envision gathering good energy from the earth and then settling it down through the crown of our head. We'll do one more just here in the center. And the next time we're gonna tilt to one side. We're gonna tilt I'm tilting to my left, repeat that same motion, and then turn back to center as we put our hands front and just settle that chi down the center. And then we're gonna tilt off to the other side for the cross arms. Rotate once we get up to the top, and then settle the chi back down the middle. We're just going to try and get into this motion. And again, you can find a pace. You don't have to match my pace. If you have a pace that's faster or slower, that better matches your breath, feel free to adjust the pace or the range of motion here to whatever suits you. Breathing deeply, envisioning that good positive energy being gathered and sent to where it's needed. Okay, we're going to do one more side to side, one more on each side. And then we're going to finish up just doing a few right back in the center. So we'll just do the cross arm flow just in the center to finish. Do one last one. Great. Big circles. I'm going to take a slightly wider stance, maybe 1.5 shoulder widths. We're going to raise one arm up to shoulder width, shoulder height, and we'll shift the weight off of that side. We're just going to describe a big circle. So bring that hand down, around, shift the weight to the other side, and then up and over and back. We'll just try it. And again, we'll find a range of motion that feels good to you. Don't injure your shoulder. Don't compromise your balance. This works a little bit on balance and a little bit on leg strength. Just find a pace. Try to coordinate your breathing with the motion. Maybe exhaling down and across, and inhaling up and over. Do one last movement in this direction. Back to center, shake that out. And we'll repeat that movement in the opposite direction. Up. Describe a big circle moving in the opposite clockwise, counterclockwise direction. Do one more motion on this side. Back to center. Shake that out if you need it. And we'll do a few movements here that are part of, there are a number of, there's probably any number of sequences of movements within Qigong. There's one, a quite popular one called the 8 Silken Brocades. And so we're going to do a few movements that are incorporated in the 8 Silken Brocades. Like if you go to YouTube and type in 8 Silken Brocades, you'll get half a dozen different people describing, demonstrating their version of this. I learned from an instructor who I like very much. She's written a couple of books. Her name's Mimi Kuo Dima. And she's very straightforward and easy to read and understand. And her movements, her YouTube videos are quite elegant, quite a model to strive for. Yeah. This one, first one, is called "Open the Bow to Let the Arrow Fly." It's also known as "Draw the Bow to Shoot the Golden Eagle." If we shot the golden eagle in this country, we'd be charged with a felony. So I'm going to stick with "Open the Bow to Let the Arrow Fly." So we're going to take kind of a horse stance, kind of a wide stance, as wide as is comfortable. I'm going to sink the weight a little bit. I start by bringing my arms up kind of in front of my chest, and I form a target or a sight with one arm and extend that. Imagine I'm holding the bow out. I draw the string, the bowstring, back with my other arm, and you gaze over that sight with your eye. This is and take that. Then we come back to center, kind of raise the weight up a little bit, arms back, and then sink the weight down, form that arrow, form that target, that sight, draw the string back on the other side. We're just going to repeat that left and right. And this exercise is meant to be, or supposed to be, associated with the liver. The liver is supposed to be really good for the liver. And the sense organ for the liver is the eyes, is sight. So often you're evolving and you have movements that are supposed to be good for your liver. They also involve your eyes or sight. We all know that sight, good vision is essential for good archery. So try to get into a nice rhythm here, a good range of motion that feels good for you. This one for me is very engaged in the legs. I'm inhaling as I come in and up the center, and exhaling as I draw the bow. One more cycle, one more on each side. And then walk that back in, shake that out. One second time. Time's flying. Okay. All right. Well, this next movement exercise is also part of the 8 silken brocades, and it's the wise owl turns its head to eliminate fatigue. And this is an excellent exercise if you've been doing computer time, working at a desk. It's good for stretching out the back and the neck. So we're just going to start from our Wuji posture, regular stance. We're going to bring our arms out and behind us like this. We're going to turn our head off to one side, kind of gaze out behind us as far as you can. And we're going to sweep the hands back in and open the owl's wings back up and gaze behind us. You can imagine that owls can turn their head 180 degrees or more. I'm not asking you to do that. Just do it to what
Not the exorcist.
Yeah, no exorcist motion here. Just get a comfortable stretch in your neck. We might find again, kind of like in our warm up, you might find you get a little more rotation with each repetition of this movement. I'm inhaling as I spread my wings, and exhaling as I come back to center. You can envision bringing in good good healing, positive chi to your neck, your shoulders, and back. It's really good for stretching the neck and back muscles. Breathing deeply, calming the mind. Maybe one more movement on each side, one more cycle. Come back to center, shake that out. And we'll do the next exercise is bending over and wagging the tail. Dog bends over and wags his tail to calm heart fire. And heart fire is a condition where you just have too much busyness. You can imagine it as heartburn, but just too much agitation, busyness. This is supposed to help calm us. So again, a slightly wider stance, or a good horse stance, a good wide stance. We're going to start with our hands on our hips. We're going to look off to one side and kind of bend at the waist over that knee as much as you can, and then rotate your torso around to come over the other knee, and then back down. And we're just going to repeat that. We'll just come down on that side, and swing the torso around to the start to the first side, and come torso up. And again, you can try to coordinate this with breathing. You can inhale as you come over and up, and exhale as you go down and over. And try and get a good stretch in your midsection and your hips. Not to the point of pain, but just to the point of a good stretch here. Again, this is engaged in a little bit of balance, engaged in the legs, engaged in the midsection and the hips. One more movement on each side. That cycle. And walk the feet back in. Stretch that out. Finish in our usual fashion. What we do is we do some centering, kind of even our chi on the left side and the right side of the body. Before we finish with our last position, standing in bamboo in the wind. So we'll begin with centering. Start with our Wuji position. We're just going to take one hand up, the level of the dantian, that place where we store and cultivate chi. We'll sweep the other arm out, up and above the head, and just bring it right down the midline. Just imagining that we're even. Then we'll repeat that motion on the other side. So, breathe in as we circle the arms up top, and then exhale, coming down the midline, imagining sending that chi evenly, distributing it on the left side, right side of the body, and come down to your head, to your crown our legs and feet. Remembering to take some time out during our days to clear our minds, breathe deeply, notice our bodies. Thankful for all that our bodies do for us in our minds, all our great, wonderful minds do for us. One more movement on each side. And we're going to place our hands over our dantian, step our feet together. And right hand over left hand represents yang energy, which is often associated with heat and the male gender, and left over right represents yin energy on the female side. Yang is associated with the sun, yin is associated with the moon. You can have it any way you like, whichever energy you want to work on is great. And standing in bamboo in the wind, you just close your eyes, make a good connection with the earth with your feet, and just allow your body to rock and sway whichever way it wants to, whichever way the wind blows. Imagining the strength and flexibility and resilience of a good, healthy stalk of bamboo, and trying to emulate those qualities in our lives, with our persons. Remembering to have kindness of spirit, share that with those around us, sharing good, positive energy. It's contagious. Breathing deeply. Come back to center when you wish. Take these feelings with you for the day and for the week ahead. And thank you all for coming.